In part 2 of our review of the Daisy Red Ryder BB gun, we start by taking a look at accuracy. Now, as you'll see in this image, the Red Ryder currently has an electronic dot sight mounted. Why I did this was I felt like I just wasn't able to get sufficient accuracy out of the standard iron sights that are on the rifle. Now, they're okay, but the sight picture is black on black. When shooting at a black bullseye, that's definitely not ideal, so I had a little bit of a problem getting a precise aim there. If you look at these clips for accuracy, the first clip here is where we are today with the red dot sight mounted. After that clip, you will see where I was originally, first with the standard sights as they come out of the box, after which I went ahead and painted the front sight blade with a bit of white nail polish, making it a little bit easier to pick up and identify against a black bullseye. We see a substantial improvement there, but you'll notice I'm hitting a bit to the left. And since the rear sight is only adjustable for elevation, there's no windage adjustment on either of the sights, I wanted to find some kind of adjustable sight that would let me hit directly to point of aim. So I did go ahead and purchase one of the Air Venturi lasso scope mounts. It's a 3/8 inch dovetail mount. And once I had that on, experimented with both a 4-power scope and the Daisy dot sight that you see mounted on the gun right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at where accuracy was by the end of this journey. Okay, shooting the Red Ryder with the electronic dot sight mounted. Here's the kind of accuracy I was getting with the original unmodified sights. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of shooting, bullseyes, target shooting with the Red Ryder Wish Edition after I have modified that front sight with a little bit of white nail polish. This was a definite improvement, but I still felt like the BB gun was capable of much better accuracy, which is why I added the electronic sight. Velocity testing was performed indoors using my Caldwell chronograph and Daisy 5.3 grain BBs. 10 shots of testing turned in an average of 296 feet per second for a muzzle velocity of 1.03 foot-pounds. So, what are my final thoughts on the Red Ryder carbine? I think it's an outstanding value. To think that we have a BB gun that is constructed primarily of steel and wood, and possesses the reliability and the accuracy that the Daisy Red Ryder brings to the table is, in my opinion, phenomenal. If there is a shortcoming, or if I had complaints, sure, I'd prefer it was still manufactured in the US of A, but I think that ship has sailed. I think that it is most important that it's still available today, and to be as inexpensive as it is just really continues to promote the popularity both of this gun and of the shooting sports. So, to think that we have something this capable, this well made, this well finished, and to have it available for the price that these sell for is just phenomenal. I think it's an outstanding value. I think it's a good air gun. I think that this model in particular will continue to soldier on for years to come. I know of many of you, well, actually I have a Daisy Model 25 that was manufactured in 1926, and it continues to shoot today. And that's not a unique story. These guns tend to be incredibly long-lived with really not much maintenance at all. So, I think the gun's an exceptional value. If I have complaints, like I said, I'd like to see it manufactured in the USA, but I don't get my choice there. And I hazard to think what it might cost if it were. And the other part of it is, I would love to see the sights be adjustable for windage. The sights, I guess, are my biggest shortcoming with it, in that to have no windage adjustment and then to have a black on black sight picture, not going to be easy for any kind of target shooting. That's why if you watch the the accuracy portion of this, our groups shrink from saucer sized to under an inch simply by adding a optic that is easily identified against the bullseye and can be adjusted to hit it to point of aim. You know, these sights, we have the rear sight that's perfectly functional, elevation adjustable, but going black sight against a black plastic blade sight that has no adjustment for windage is just incredibly hard to pick up against a bullseye. I did go through and paint that sight white, which helped a great deal, shrunk my group size considerably, but I was still shooting to the left of point of aim. And particularly when teaching young people how to shoot, the ability to hit to point of aim is an important thing. If folks are holding a good sight picture, showing proper trigger control, and it's still not hitting to point of aim, simply too much to expect a young shooter to estimate Kentucky windage in addition to the other things, sight picture, trigger control, breath control, that kind of thing. So the lack of windage adjustment on the sights would be my one criticism. Other than that, I think it's an incredibly well-made, well-functioning air gun. And if you don't have one, I'd encourage you to get one. They're not just for kids. They're an awful lot of fun. Plus, if you do know young people, they're a great way to introduce young people to the shooting sports. So, hey, thanks a lot for following me on these reviews. I appreciate your viewership and sticking with me till the end. And I look forward to seeing y'all on the next one. Take care.